Englix. Learn English in the most interesting ways. Forget boring textbooks.
Hello, English enthusiasts. I'm Emily from Englix. Welcome to today's short podcast episode. If you're new here, subscribe and let's practice English speaking together.
Usually when you walk into a room to do your job, there's this baseline expectation of control, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like you sit at your desk, you open your laptop, and your body just it does what you tell it to do.
Right, you type, you read, you drink your coffee. It's entirely predictable.
Exactly. Completely predictable. But then, you are asked to stand up.
And that's when it all goes sideways.
It really does. Maybe you're prepping for this massive, high-stakes keynote presentation, or maybe it's literally just a regular, slightly stressful Monday morning team meeting.
Just giving a project update.
Right. But you stand up, you face the room, and suddenly your body absolutely betrays you.
The predictability is just gone in an instant. Like, poof.
It is a universal feeling. And today, we are doing a deep dive into the biological glitch that makes a Tuesday morning stand-up feel like a literal life or death scenario.
Which is such a wild thing to experience. Honestly, you're suddenly a passenger in your own skin, dealing with, a racing heart, sweaty palms.
A voice that refuses to stay steady. Yeah. So our mission today is to look at the physical overrides you can use to sort of hack your own nervous system.
Because we're looking at a really practical, back-to-basics framework on public speaking here.
Right. But we're looking at the actual mechanics of why we panic and specific, actionable ways to regain control.
Because before we can fix the problem, we really need to understand the crime scene of our own biology.
The crime scene. I like that. And the core of this issue, from what the source material lays out, comes down to one really jarring reality.
Yeah.
Our bodies literally perceive the act of speaking in front of people as a physical threat to our survival.
Which is just, it sounds dramatic, but it's completely true. Taking a step back into evolutionary biology kind of helps explain this.
Right, because we're running modern professional tasks on incredibly outdated evolutionary software.
Exactly. Like, to our primitive brains, standing alone in front of a large group of staring eyes meant one of two things.
Neither of which were good.
No, not at all. You were either about to be cast out of the tribe, which meant certain death, or you were literally being sized up by predators.
Wow. So your central nervous system isn't interpreting the audience as, colleagues waiting for a quarterly update?
Not even a little bit. It is interpreting those eyes as a mortal threat.
It makes me think of, imagine a glitchy, oversensitive car alarm.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Right. Like someone just walks past the car, maybe a stiff breeze hits the bumper, and suddenly the siren is screaming, the lights are flashing.
The whole neighborhood is awake.
Exactly. And there's no actual danger.
Yeah.
But on stage, you've got your slide deck in one hand, your laser pointer in the other, but your internal car alarm is just blaring.
That is a perfect way to visualize it, because when that alarm goes off, your sympathetic nervous system just dumps adrenaline into your bloodstream.
Initiating a full-blown survival protocol.
Exactly. Your heart rate skyrockets, right? And it does that to pump blood to your limbs so you can literally run away.
Or fight, which explains the shaking hands.
Yes. Your hands shake because your muscles are primed for physical combat. It is a feature of human biology. It's not a bug.
But because we don't realize that in the moment, we start panicking about the panic.
Oh, the secondary panic spiral. It's so destructive.
It really is. You feel your hands shaking, and then your internal monologue starts screaming, "Oh no, they can see my hands shaking.
I'm ruining the presentation."
I am visibly incompetent." Yeah, you compound the problem.
Which is exactly why our research emphasizes something so crucial here. Everyone, even the most famous, highly experienced speakers experiences this exact same physical reaction.
Okay, but I want to push on that for a second.
Sure.
Is realizing that successful people get nervous just a nice trick to make us feel less alone? Or is there a functional mechanism at play there?
Oh, it is highly functional, because it directly attacks the problem of cognitive load and shame.
Explain that. What do you mean by cognitive load here?
Well, when you feel your heart pounding at the podium, the default assumption is usually, I'm bad at this, something is uniquely wrong with me.
Right, I'm not cut out for this.
Exactly. And that shame, it consumes massive amounts of your brain's processing power.
Power you desperately need to actually deliver your speech.
Yes. You're trying to remember your talking points while simultaneously judging yourself for being nervous.
And that dual processing just crashes your mental computer.
Completely crashes it. But when you internalize the fact that, world-class speakers have that exact same fast-beating heart.
And those exact same shaking hands.
It shifts your entire perspective. You move from thinking, I am broken, to realizing, oh, my hardware is just doing what it's wired to do.
This is just a biological reflex.
Right. Removing the shame stops that secondary panic spiral, which frees up your cognitive bandwidth to focus on the task at hand.
So, okay, we have this oversensitive car alarm, and it firmly believes we are in mortal danger.
Yes.
How do we manually override that system? Because we have to signal to our nervous system that we are actually safe.
Right. We have to tell the body to stand down.
The first line of defense we see in the source material is extreme preparation.
Tip number 1, yeah.
Right, practicing your speech so many times at home that you know the topic intimately. And I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
If my body genuinely thinks it is fighting for its life, does just knowing my topic really stop my hands from shaking?
That's a really fair question.
Like, does my glitchy car alarm care how well I know my PowerPoint slides?
Okay, so that is the exact trap most beginners fall into. They think preparation is a cure-all.
But it's not.
No. Knowing the material intimately builds your mental armor, right? It reduces the cognitive load so you aren't scrambling for words.
But it doesn't turn off the siren.
You are absolutely right. It does not turn off the biological alarm by itself.
What does?
To deal with the adrenaline, to stop the actual physical shaking, you need a mechanical override.
Okay.
And that brings us to the breathing technique.
Okay, tip number 2. And the recommendation here is remarkably specific.
It is. Before you even begin to speak, you take 3 deep breaths.
But not just normal breaths. You breathe in for 4 seconds and you breathe out for 4 seconds.
Exactly. 4 in, 4 out.
Now I have to say, standing at a podium in front of 50 people,
Yeah.
12 seconds of deep breathing feels like an absolute eternity.
Oh, I know. Time dilation is a very real symptom of adrenaline.
Right.
So yes, it will feel like an agonizingly long pause to you,
Right.
but the mechanics of why this 4-second rhythm works are fascinating.
Let's get into the mechanics. What is actually happening in the body?
It directly engages the vagus nerve and triggers your parasympathetic nervous system.
And that's the part of your biology responsible for the rest and digest state, right?
Exactly, the brake pedal. When you are in danger mode, your breathing naturally becomes very shallow and rapid.
Because you're hyperventilating a little bit.
Right, and that creates a feedback loop, telling your brain, yes, we are definitely in danger, keep the adrenaline coming.
Oh, wow. So you are manually hijacking that feedback loop.
Completely manually.
Yeah.
By deliberately forcing your lungs to take a long 4-second inhale,
And an equally slow 4-second exhale.
you are sending a physical signal back up to your brain.
Saying what?
It basically says, look, if we were really fighting for our lives right now, I wouldn't be breathing this slowly.
I'd be panting.
Exactly. So the threat must not be real. And it forces the heart rate to drop.
I love the mechanics of that so much. You use the intense preparation so your conscious mind knows exactly where the speech is going.
A mental defense.
Right. And then you use the 4-second breathing to force your racing heart to physically slow down.
Your physical defense.
It's a 2-pronged approach.
And crucially, you practice both of these in a low-stakes environment first. You don't try to deploy these for the very first time on the main stage.
Right, which brings us to leaving the safety of the living room, because eventually you have to face actual human beings.
You do. You can't just speak to the mirror forever.
The research outlines this strategy of gradual exposure, which is tip number 3. You start small.
Very small. You speak in front of one friend.
Then you try 2 friends, then maybe a small group. It gets easier each time.
Yeah, you have to scare step it.
It makes me think of weightlifting, actually.
Oh, that's a good analogy. How so?
Well, if you want to bench press a really heavy weight, you don't walk into the gym on day 1 and load up the bar with maximum plates.
You would get absolutely crushed.
Right. You start with a 5-pound dumbbell.
Okay, I see where you're going.
That one friend sitting on your couch listening to your pitch, that is your 5-pound dumbbell.
I love that.
You build the muscle memory of having eyes on you, and then you add a little more weight.
The weightlifting analogy is spot on, because what you're building resistance against isn't really the act of speaking itself.
It's not.
No, you are building biological tolerance to the car alarm.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Right. By practicing in front of one friend, you trigger a microdose of that false alarm.
Your heart flutters a little bit.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
But you survive it. Your brain registers the experience and essentially updates its software.
Okay, we had eyes on us, but we didn't die.
Exactly. Then you try 2 friends. The alarm rings slightly louder, but again, you survive.
So you are systematically proving to your nervous system that an audience is not a lethal threat.
Yes. But, exposure therapy is really only half the battle here.
What's the other half?
There is a massive psychological shift that has to happen alongside it. This is tip number 4.
The mental pivot.
Right. The guidance here is to actively intercept the thought, I will make a mistake.
And replace it with what?
You replace it with, I have something good to share.
Yeah.
The underlying premise is that the audience actually wants you to do well.
They are not your enemy.
Exactly. The psychological brilliance of that pivot cannot be overstated.
Because it changes our whole posture, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Think about our posture when we are nervous. We assume this adversarial stance.
Defended. Tight.
Right. We look out at the room and unconsciously assume they are judging us, waiting for us to fail.
Like they're a hostile jury or something.
Exactly, but they aren't.
Okay, hold on though. Let me push back on that for a second.
Okay, sure.
It sounds wonderful on a bumper sticker to say, the audience is your ally.
Right.
But what if you are pitching to a genuinely hostile board of directors?
Okay, tough room.
Or what if you are delivering really bad financial news to a room full of angry shareholders? In the real world, sometimes the audience is hostile.
That is a very fair point.
They are actively looking for flaws in your presentation. So how does this mindset shift survive contact with a genuinely tough room?
That is a crucial distinction. But let's look at the psychology of even a really tough room.
Okay.
Even a hostile board of directors is primarily driven by self-interest.
Meaning what?
Meaning they're there to get information, to make a decision, or to understand a problem. They're not sitting there hoping you physically lose the ability to speak.
I mean, I guess that's true.
Think about Tatri. Watching someone stumble, sweat, and freeze on stage is deeply uncomfortable for everyone in the room, regardless of their agenda.
It's excruciating. You want to look away.
Exactly. They want you to communicate your point clearly so they can do their jobs.
So their desire for you to succeed isn't necessarily rooted in, warm, fuzzy friendship.
Not at all.
It's rooted in their own selfish desire for a competent, efficient transfer of information.
Yes, exactly. But more importantly, adopting the adversarial posture, believing they are the enemy, only harms your biology.
Because it keeps the alarm ringing.
Right. If you walk in bracing for a physical fight, your car alarm goes off, your adrenaline spikes, and your cognitive function drops.
You literally make yourself dumber.
Basically, yeah. But if you reframe the event as a transfer of information, I have something good, or at least necessary to share, you protect your own nervous system.
It transforms the event from a hostile interrogation into a professional act of sharing.
Which keeps your shoulders down and your jaw unclenched.
That makes a lot of sense. You are managing your own biological response, regardless of what's happening behind their eyes.
Exactly. You control what you can control.
Okay, so we've set the stage. We understand the oversensitive alarm.
We do.
We've built our mental armor through preparation. And we have our 4-second vagus nerve override to stop the physical panic.
We've stair-stepped our exposure with our 5-pound dumbbell friends.
And we've shifted our mindset to protect our cognitive load. It sounds like a foolproof system, honestly.
It is a highly effective system.
Yeah.
But it brings us to the final inevitable hurdle.
Right. Tip number 5. Because perfection is a total myth.
It really is.
What happens when you do all of that? You step onto the actual stage and you still mess up.
It happens to everyone.
I want to explore this because it is universally terrifying. You are presenting and you drop a word or you skip a crucial slide.
Or you just completely lose your train of thought.
Yes. Internally, it feels like a siren is going off. Everything moves in high-definition slow motion.
It's agonizing.
Yet the core advice we see across the board here is that it is okay to make mistakes. And most crucially, you should just continue speaking because most people will not even notice.
And that feels completely counterintuitive when you are the one standing at the podium.
It really does. How is it possible that I can completely botch a sentence and the audience remains happily oblivious?
It's wild, isn't it?
Why is there such a massive gap between my perception of the mistake and theirs?
Okay, so what you are describing is known as the spotlight effect.
The spotlight effect.
Yeah, and it ties directly back to the hyperarousal of the nervous system we talked about at the very beginning.
A car alarm.
Exactly. Remember, when you are speaking, your senses are dialed up to maximum sensitivity.
Because I'm trying not to be eaten by a lion.
Right. Your brain is aggressively scanning for threats.
Yeah.
And in that state, Every tiny internal deviation is magnified 100 times over.
So a skipped word feels like a physical blow.
And a 3-second pause while you find your place feels like an agonizing eternity.
Because my brain is treating a dropped syllable the exact same way it would treat stepping on a dry twig in a forest full of predators.
That is exactly it. You are hyper-aware. But look at the cognitive state of the audience.
Okay, what about them?
They are in a low arousal state.
Oh, right, because they're just sitting there.
Yeah, they are sitting comfortably. Their parasympathetic nervous systems are fully engaged. They might be taking notes or, digesting a point you made 2 minutes ago.
They're relaxed.
They're very relaxed. Furthermore, they don't have your script in front of them.
Oh, that's such a good point. They don't know the bullet points I kept in my head.
To them, an unexpected pause just looks like you're being thoughtful.
Or a substituted adjective doesn't register at all.
Exactly. It's like watching a play where an actor drops a line. Because you haven't memorized the script, you just assume the character is taking a dramatic pause.
The audience's brains are actively working to synthesize the broad strokes of your message.
Right. They do not have the cognitive bandwidth to grade your flawless delivery.
This is why the instruction to just continue speaking is so vital, isn't it?
Yes. It's all about momentum.
Momentum.
Momentum is your greatest defense mechanism on a stage. If you make a mistake, stop. Apologize profusely, grimace, and shuffle your papers.
You are suddenly drawing a giant red circle around the error.
Exactly. You are ripping the audience out of their relaxed state and forcing them to focus on the stumble.
Hey everyone, look at how bad I'm doing.
Right. But if you maintain momentum, if you just keep the train moving forward, their brains will naturally gloss over the bump on the tracks.
Because they're focusing on the destination.
You got it.
So an error isn't a failure unless you let it derail the whole train.
Beautifully put. The mistake is just a bump. It is not a derailment.
Okay, let's step back and look at the massive shift in perspective we've uncovered today in this deep dive.
It's a lot of ground to cover.
It is. We started by validating the physical reality of the anxiety. The racing heart and the shaking hands aren't signs of weakness or incompetence.
No, they are just outdated evolutionary software confusing a podium with a physical threat.
Right. And we diffused the shame of that reaction by acknowledging that the biological hardware is the same for everyone.
From absolute beginners to world-class keynote speakers.
Then we looked at our two-pronged defense. We lower the cognitive load by preparing our material intimately.
That's our mental defense.
And we utilize the 4-second physical override, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out.
To manually engage the parasympathetic nervous system and force the heart rate back to baseline.
We use our breath to literally update the software in real time.
It's so powerful.
And then we build our tolerance to that car alarm by stair-stepping our exposure, starting with the 5-pound dumbbell of a single friend.
Which prepares us for the real thing.
Right. And we protect our mindset by refusing to adopt an adversarial posture. We recognize that even a tough audience wants a competent transfer of information.
Which means we can approach the event as a professional act of sharing.
Which protects us from the adrenaline spike of walking into a perceived battle.
Absolutely.
And finally, we embrace the spotlight effect. We understand that our hyper-aroused state magnifies our mistakes to us.
While the relaxed audience remains largely blind to them.
Our only job when a mistake happens is to maintain momentum. Do not draw a red circle around it. Just keep speaking.
It is a remarkable progression, honestly, going from physical panic to total mental control.
To bring this all home, I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over as you prepare for whatever stage, meeting, or presentation you have to step onto next.
I would offer this perspective shift.
Okay, lay it on us.
We've established that the physical symptoms are a biological misunderstanding.
Right.
We've established that the audience is hoping for a successful transfer of information, not your downfall.
Even the tough ones.
Even the tough ones. And we've established that the mistakes you dread most will likely go entirely unnoticed.
The spotlight effect.
Right. So if all of that is true, then the only actual danger in public speaking exists entirely in our own heads.
Wow. The threat isn't in the room at all.
No, it is just a shadow on the wall of our own minds.
The danger is entirely manufactured by us.
Yes. So what if we treated our next presentation not as a high-stakes life-or-death performance, but simply as a conversation?
Just a conversation.
What if it's just a moment in time where we happen to have something useful to share with a room full of people?
I love that so much. It strips all the power away from the panic.
It really does.
The primitive brain might not know the difference between a crowd and a threat, but you do. You can recognize the glitch, take that 4-second breath, look at the room, and simply share what you know. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been great.
We hope you take these tools, test them in your own living room, apply them to your next meeting, and conquer that stage. See you next time.
Englix. Learn English in the most interesting ways. Forget boring textbooks.